Hello, race fans. Welcome back to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. Last time out was Atlanta, and that was a very interesting way for a race to finish. Very, very, very interesting. Let me save that real quick. Now we're at a completely different track. We're at the oldest, no, not the oldest track on the schedule. One of the oldest. We're at probably the most prestigious racetrack in the entire world, as you can tell by the shot. The largest crowd you will see on hand. 250,000 spectators jam-packed into this 2.5-mile track in the Midwest. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are here at the Brickyard for the Stewart's Fountain Classics Brickyard 400. Two drivers enter this race with $250,000 on the line if they can win. 40 other drivers just looking for some bragging rights and a trophy. As we go through our starting grid, we see a big shock. Rick Scott will guarantee himself in a next year's clash by putting his Raven West Camry on the pole alongside a part-time driver, Tony Stark. Here's your points leader by a large margin, Joe Biden, as he'll start next to Tom Hanks. But right behind Joe Biden is second in points, Crow T Robot, who also won the Northern 500 at Pocono last month. You know what that means. He's one of the two in the running for $250,000. That's $1 for every spectator in the stands. Ian Anderson alongside his teammate. Then Jerry Springer and James Bond rounding out the top 10. Part-time driver Mark Martin along with Count Dracula. And Kathy Bates and Harrison Ford. Hut Strickland, last year's winner of this race, Tom Jones. Telly Savalas will line up next to Billy Mays. Then Marco Polo and Woody Woodpecker, Jeff Lynn, Morgan Freeman round out the top 20. And Alfred Hitchcock will line up next to Geddy Lee. Snoop Dogg and Iggy Koopa. And Bob Ross lining up to the outside of Carl Edwards. Denzel Washington next to Al Roker. 2018 Series champion Richard Simmons next to third in points, Brendan Gaughan. Peter Perfect will line up next to David Dayton. Woody Harrelson next to Chick Corea, pair of Pontiacs. Grover Cleveland, his marathon colors, next to his teammate Al Capone, who contended for the win here in 2018. Walter White will line up next to Orange Crush 400 winner Stephen Georg, who is also fighting for $250,000, and Bela Fleck will line up next to John Cena. Rounding out the field, Pastor Maldonado and Beach Boys leader Brian Wilson. There you are. There's the starting grid. We're getting towards the end of the season. 15 races left in the calendar after this one. Next weekend, I believe, is the Morton Salt 400. That one will take place at Chicagoland. So now we are back. We are back at the Brickyard. Yeah. We are here for the command, the fire engines. The most famous words in motorsports. Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Engines firing on 10, 20, 30, 42 cars. And we are going to get rolling here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Stewart Fountains Classics Brickyard 400. is going to get underway as the pace car lead us on this pace lap as they take the warm-up lane installed for NASCAR's first visit here in 1994. Prior to that, there was a proper apron. Interestingly enough, everybody, wow, they don't completely use the warm-up lane. As everybody is merging onto the race surface. Not using it all the way. That's going to be very interesting. We had some very interesting racing here. Now, there was a laundry list of DNQs. 10 drivers DNQ. They include Anthony Perkins, who was trying to make his first start since the 2018 series finale. He won this race in 2018. Also DNQing was Rick Mast, who nearly won this race last year. But pit strategy, he tried to take tires, but Tom Jones went in on a fuel-only call. Also missing this race, Nathan McCain, Donald Fagan, Hank Hill, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Peter Onjak, Burt Reynolds, Blaze Alexander, and Tim Foster. Luckily, at least for Onjak and Foster, they raced last night at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Onjak in the Gearheads 200 in the Truck Series, and Tim Foster in the Melling Series St. Elmo Steakhouse 250. Now, pace car down pit road. The field in the hands of Rick Scott and Tony Stark. Green flag is out. We're racing here at the Brickyard. Slow start for some drivers, not for others. Rick Scott going to lead the field through one. Going in the turn two. Tony Stark now going to fall back as the outside line. Not exactly the place you want to be. This is definitely an inside line is king track for the stock cars. However, will Rick Scott even lead the first lap? I don't know about that because he's getting challenged for the lead by Tom Hanks, who nearly won the championship last year. Tony Stark, he's going to go with Hanks in the Hanks Wireless Chevrolet. Oh, Scott hanging tough on the outside. He's going to power off the corner, and Rick Scott is going to lead the first lap here at Indianapolis. Drag race for second at the line. Give it to Tony Stark by 3/1000ths of a second. Biden already to the inside. Now Crow gets there. Biden's got to hold off Hut Strickland, though, looking for his second career win. Strickland won at the oldest operating racetrack in the world, the Milwaukee Mile. This is the second oldest track in the schedule, opening in 1909. Only 6 years later, Rick Scott trying to do something very hard, and that is be a rookie and win a race on pace. And not do so on a plate track, it would be even more impressive. Rick Scott, Tom Hanks, Tony Stark. Only one of these has been a full-time driver both this year and last year. As Tom Hanks will sail into the lead. He's looking for another major victory, and well, no, he didn't. He doesn't have really major victories. Tony Stark won the first Pocono race in 2018. The one that was technically called the Northern 500 despite taking that weekend. Ian Anderson looking now to take third from Tom Hanks as Rick Scott's recouped and taken second. Jerry Springer fifth, but he's under fire from Joe Biden, former vice president under Barack Obama, our 44th president, not 45th, God no. Biden trying to also become our 46th president, and also trying to be But right now, he's trying to become the not the Melling. Wow, I'm off today. The Vernors Cup Series champion. Action farther back. Count Dracula putting his Ford for Jethro Bodine Racing underneath the DeAndre Levy number 90, a Hut Strickland. Crow is going to follow suit, and the one is looking like he's trying to pass the 11. Meanwhile, at the front, Tom Hanks trying to lead a group past the 02. Very interesting mix. At the moment, the top 5 is going to change, actually. Here comes Jerry Springer. But right now, it's a Ford out front, 2 Chevys, a Dodge, and a Toyota. 2 Fords, a Chevy, and 2 more Fords. Then a Chevy, 3 more Fords, 2 Dodges, Pontiac, a Chevy, a Pontiac, and a Ford, your top 20. The Carl Edwards moving his way up to 21st. Oh! Brendan Gaughan's blown up. It's implications. Harrison Ford. Bela Fleck. Brian Wilson on the grass. Caution is out. Tony Stark is your leader. I was about to say, oh, that's heartbreak. Third in points is not going to be able to finish this event. Maldonado involved in a crash. Expected, but oh, the 62's torn. The 97. The 48 is slow. The 22. The 44 got the toe back. At least 6 cars involved in this accident here. Now, we're not going to go take a quick look back just yet. Oh, we see Woody Harrelson with damage. Grover Cleveland. We're going to see most of these people taking damage. Right side tires. Half a can of fuel. Already. Not yet. Who's going to be the first one to drop out of the race? It is Brendan Gaughan. Harrison Ford also puts the window net down. Pastor Maldonado going to follow him into his pits box. He's out of the race. He's got a clutch issue, apparently. I believe that is the toe. These guys better get out quickly, or they're going to go a lap down. They're going to go a lap down. They went a lap down. Oh, Bela Fleck! No! Oh, and he just merged into Jerry Springer! What are you doing, Bela Fleck? Rick Scott heavily checks up because of this. Jerry Springer, interestingly enough, was not... He must have thought he was ahead. So we see everybody coming in. They're taking right sides and the half can. For the most part, Kathy Bates trying strategy. Filling it full of fuel and 4 tires, more importantly. Now, we look at Al Capone. What happened? Looks like this might have been where it started. Was Richard Simmons and Iggy Koopa. They went out. Oh, yes, it was. Simmons and Freeman. So this wreck was a little while in the making. So you see, Iggy Koopa muscled his way. Probably went in too hot in the turn 1. Simmons with a little contact as they both end up, okay. Simmons didn't. Koopa, but Simmons comes down, 2018 champion, down to the 2019 champion Harrison Ford. There's where Al Capone gets his issue. Now here's where the major mayhem starts. Capone right into the path of Gaughan. There's where Brian Wilson gets a bit of a checkup. John Cena. Oh, he's going to get turned. And there's Maldonado into the wall. Cleveland stacks up. 12-ish cars involved in this accident. The big one striking early here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, Bela Fleck could be the control car in this restart. It's going to be very interesting. Al Capone is out of this race as well. Brian Wilson is out. And so is Woody Harrelson. 6 cars dropped from the race. 7th will be on the tail end of the lead lap. Practically a lap down. Grover Cleveland, Iggy Koopa, John Cena. All minor damage involved in it. Richard Simmons. And maybe some more. There's probably some more drivers I'm thinking of. Your new running order. Oh, Crow really shuffled back. Tony Stark, your leader. Tom Hanks, second. Ian Anderson, third. Jerry Springer, fourth. Joe Biden, fifth. Then Count Dracula, Hut Strickland, Mark Martin, Jeff Lynne, and Alfred Hitchcock. Rick Scott has been shuffled back to 11th. Telly Savalas runs in 12th. Crow T-Robot in 13th. James Bond is 14th. Woody Woodpecker holds it down in the 15th slot. Snoop Dogg will assume the 16th restarting slot. Carl Edwards is 17th. 2018 Melling Series champion Marco Polo restarts this race from the 18th position. Bob Ross is running in 19th, and Morgan Freeman will restart in 20th. We look at the rest of the field. There's Al Roker, who's had a really rough season. Billy Mays, looking for his first win in a while. Chick Corea, last year's Melling Series champion. Not locked in. Kathy Bates, Denzel Washington. Several of the drivers who are outside of the top 35 in points could be replaced. Car lights are off. We will go back racing on lap 10 here at the Brickyard. Some of the rumors, probably the obvious one, Blaze Alexander has had a rough year. It could be a second chance for Ferris Bueller, who is leading the Melling Series points in the number 41. Another one to keep an eye on out is the 94. Carl Edwards also having a rough year. Logan Cloud running second in points. Could he be joining Brendan Gaughan? Could be. It could be finally time for Cloud to move up to the Melling Series. Then again, he was looking like he was in a really good position around this time last year, and his season fell apart. It's going to be very interesting to see how some of these fall out. The 7 team, Extra Motorsports, could be folding. Again. James Bond's win at... Was that? I want to say that was at Pike. That might have been at Pike's Peak. It's definitely enough to keep that team alive for another year, but... I know they're going to lose some sponsors. Nation's Rent is pulling out. That's a service mark. That's not even trademarked. Which would leave Camping World as a sponsor. I'm not sure if Camping World wants to cover a whole season. So that team might be downgrading the part-time. Tony Stark, part-time driver after rough year last year, although he did barely get locked in. He's leading him back to Greeny here today. Tony Stark, who I believe has won, I could be wrong, but I think he's won in all 3 seasons, in the past 2 seasons, as we are back underway. Bela Fleck ends up going to the high line. Rick Scott hung out to dry. Joe Biden had a great restart. Up past the 8 and the 17. 26-31, 12-11 the front 4 at the moment as 2 drivers from the 1990s, Hut Strickland and Mark Martin, 2 of the 3 most experienced drivers start-wise in the field. I would say they're the most experienced, but Carl Edward exists. Now, Biden going for second. Because our points battle, we can't have nice things in a points battle. But here comes Crow. He's finally by the 22. He's running. Now he's up to 10th. He got past Ian Anderson, who's on a slide back. So is Jerry Springer. So is Rick Scott. Grover Cleveland off-paced in that Marathon Oil number 45. Biden up to second. Of course he'd be. Trying to track down Tony Stark. Oh, Jesus Lord. Biden easily gonna sail by and take the race lead. This is just crazy as Joe Biden, your points leader. Crow trying to prevent him from losing points. Caution out! John Cena's involved. Rick Scott involved. Jerry Springer. We're back under yellow as Biden leads us back. So, now we probably have time to space-time rewind before pit stops. Oh, Jerry Springer made a move onto Rick Scott, and John Cena hooked in the wall. Oh, Rick Scott riding the wall. Cleveland, managed to avoid all that. As John Cena has retired himself from the race. Rick Scott, your points leader, or your pole sitter, all the way back in 33rd after just 12 laps. Now, very interesting. Dracula hugging that apron. He's going to try to strategy this. He's pulling his 11 down the pit lane. It's a split strategy here. He's not quite the only one as Billy Mays is coming in. But wait, there's more. Morgan Freeman also strategizing. Grover Cleveland, Rick Scott. Of course, Scott Springer. Now, Stephen Georg running 18th, or was it the line? Probably changed now. Same with Crow in 9th. That was 17th, really, for Stephen Georg. So those are your SummerSlam drivers where they're running. I think a lot of people would like to see the one win this race. Because that would mean closing in on the points lead of the 12. had an unbelievably strong season. Almost a little sus to some people. As Rick Scott, he leaves the pit lane. Will be scored back in the 34th position. Gosh, in an Indy 500, he wouldn't be in the race if he was this far back. That's how rough of a race he's having. No, maybe not. He might be in 33rd because he just dashed by Jerry Springer. Now Bela Fleck pitting. He was a lap down, so yeah, it would make sense. I think pace car lights are going to remain on for another lap. I could be wrong. Yeah, they are. This would have been a good track for them to only have 3 laps of pacing. Interesting. Some people in gear 2, some people in gear 3, some people in gear 1. Nobody in gear 4. That would seem like the what to do to try and save fuel. Lower RPMs means the engine's doing less work, meaning it needs less fuel. At least I think. I mean, it makes sense. Engines require no fuel to run at 0 RPM. Those engines can run forever. Meanwhile, it takes me days to drain a tank, and these guys just do it in usually around an hour, if that. Then again, usually I'm going to work at a max of 40 mile an hour. And I'd only drive for 15 minutes at the time. We're gonna go back green next time around here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with 16 laps in the books here. That's, I believe, 40 miles. Biden, Hake, Stark, Strickland, Martin, Lynn, Hitchcock, Savalas, Robot, Woodpecker, then Dog, Polo, Roker, Correa, Lee, Simmons, George, Dayton, Anderson, and Denzel Washington. A very loaded top 20. So you look at this, at 105 miles an hour, he's in gear 2. Why are people in gear 3? Unless they're saving fuel, that could be. That's just jarring to see. Matching the 22 and the 12. That's... Well, Joe Biden is in a very good position because he's leading and there's going to be a slow car to his inside. Let's check the fastest lap. Of course, he's the second fastest. Al Roker, of all people, who's going to be oh no, he's a little bit farther up than I thought. He's going to be starting 13th. Then it's Marco Polo. Oh, I'm seeing a trend. Some fast Fords, even though Harrison Ford didn't really get a chance to set a good lap. Getty leads towards the back, and I have no clue about Jared Springer's been passed. So the fastest Top 10. The hot lap chart goes Al Roker, Joe Biden, Marco Polo, Crow T Robot. You can tell he's going for that bonus money. Snoop Dogg, Carl Edwards, Telly Savalas, Woody Woodpecker, Alfred Hitchcock, and Hut Strickland. Meanwhile, on the bonus lap chart, the hot lap chart, Stephen Georg is 24th. We're going back green here. At the Brickyard, Joe Biden leading us down for our second restart of the afternoon. Green flag waves and the Stewart's Fountain Classics Brickyard 400 is back green. Good jump for a lot of people. Biden in it. Oh, Crow's getting really aggressive. This might not pay off. He'll have to force it 3 wide. Maybe bailiff, maybe it's a good move. How quickly can he get to the inside, though? Fleck is slow. There he goes. He's moving up. Tony Stark already going for second. Hut Strickland getting hounded by the 60 of Mark Martin. But suddenly, the outside line reigns supreme off the corner. Strickland the third. Hank second, but he wants more. Crow T Robot up to 8th. He's gotten around Snoop Dogg. Now he's trying to reel in one of the many alliance mates. The massive Richard Simmons Racing Alliance. Yeah, he's reeling in the Peachtree Racing 55 of Jeff Lynn. Crow putting a fender underneath the 55, but that might have worked out for Jeff. Biden held off an attempt by Tom Hanks. Hanks now having to hold off a charge on the outside from Hut Strickland, the last member of the Alabama gang, running third at the moment. And this would probably be an even bigger win than Milwaukee. He nearly got a huge win in 96 in the Southern 500, led the most laps. Overheating issues and contact, I believe, with Ernie Irvin knocking out the toe. Ended up handing the win to Jeff Gordon, a very boring winner. Not that Jeff Gordon is boring, but when it was the mid-late 90s, it would have been nice to see somebody pick up their first win. Instead of, the defending series champion. Well, Hut Strickland now making a move on Tom Hanks, this time going to the inside. He's going to get help from 5-time championship runner-up Mark Martin, who's going to push his Ford buddy to the spot. Though I don't think DeAndre Levy Racing is part of the large Rush Bates alliance. That's decently large. I believe the 60 is. It's Mark Martin to the inside of Hut Strickland. Crow still in 8th, hounding Lynn and now Hitchcock, but getting hounded by Snoop Dogg. And Al Roker's in the top 10. Marco Polo in 11th. Mark Martin picks up 2 spots in 1 lap. It's a 2-for-1 deal at Kmart if I've ever seen one. As we are now past the halfway point of this race, Joe Biden, I believe, has led the most laps so far. Several little packs. Rick Scott working his way up, trying to get back into the top 25. It might be a tall order for him. Mark Martin faster into the speed trap. 192 versus 190 for Joe Biden. Biden faster through the corners and in 3 and 4, and that means he'll probably extend his gap. Top 16 now have a big gap in the rest of the field. It's 3 seconds separating the top 16, but another 2 back to 17th place. And the top 7 are separated by 2 seconds. Mark Martin did close in the last time by nearly a tenth. He was 3/10 back. He's trying to reel it in. We got a mini 3-car breakaway at the front here as Hut Strickland is hanging in. And Mark Martin is really closed up as he's down a half a lane. He's making a peak. He juts in the line, getting a big now at the line. He flashes down to the inside. Side by side for the race lead. The old man from Batesville, Arkansas, right? I think it's Batesville. Please correct me on that if I'm wrong. Mark Martin goes to the race lead. Joe Biden not done yet. He's getting a run. Pit stops happening. Several people in. The 1, the 8, the 7, the 5, 92, 99, 3, 15, and 10. The entirety of Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated. Biden now being hounded by Strickland, Tony Stark, Tom Hanks, Alfred Hitchcock. No, they're all coming down the pit lane. Not Marco Polo. He's going to sail into the lead. What a discovery for the legendary explorer. As Mark Martin, Joe Biden, Hut Strickland, Al Roker, Tony Stark, Tom Hanks, Alfred Hitchcock, Woody Woodpecker, Snoop Dogg, Jeff Lynne, Carl Edwards, Bob Ross, Denzel Washington, Peter Perfect, Chick Corea, and Stephen Georg come all in. And of the drivers that came down last time, first one out is Crow T Robot. This is a huge strategy play. 4 tires and fuel for, I believe, the entirety of the field. Oh, Mark Martin's going to beat the 12 out. Hut Strickland with that esteem. Oh. We're going to sling on to the 1. As he's at speed, passing people to warn up. There's only Denzel Washington. I don't know if he's going to grab it, but I think he might grab a couple of spots. There he is by Tom Hanks. Oh, he's up here. He's in the 6th, I believe. He's gonna try and get around Al Roker to the outside. His momentum. No, that's not gonna do it. He could have gone. He zigged when he should have zagged. Now, Kathy Bates, Marco Polo, and Iggy Koopa. Oh, Marco Polo. Is Morgan Freeman still the leader? I'm not sure who's leading. Where is? I don't even see some of these drivers. Where is the 20? On a lap by himself, he has yet to pit. Oh, this is interesting. Right now, he's trapping several guys. A lap. Oh, Carl Edwards nearly into the back of Kathy Bates. Freeman, Peter Perfect. Now Count Dracula. This is for the lead. This is very interesting strategy by some of these drivers. When they cycle back out, Mark Martin is going to be your leader. Biden will be 2nd. Crow will be up to 5th, so he's definitely trying to win this race as we have 14 laps to go. For Morgan Furneaux. Billy Mays going for Didn't they pit? I think they pit earlier. Under caution, they might be able to stretch it longer. Count Dracula to the race lead at the moment. 6 drivers yet to pit. Count Dracula, Morgan Freeman, Billy Mays, Rick Scott, Jerry Springer, and Grover Cleveland. So we have split strategy for sure. Now these last guys ran about, 18 laps. When did these guys come in? On lap 13, so that should be around lap 31 or so. So they're due down pit road here in a couple of laps. Back up towards the virtual front. Oh, Biden has taken the virtual lead from Mark Martin. Hut Strickland has taken virtual P2. Crow T Robot looking to take virtual P3. Can't quite get to the 60 yet. Oh, there's Morgan Freeman down onto the apron. Freeman will surrender second place. Someone... No, nobody else pit. Crazy Grover. 12 to go. As Hut Strickland now looking for the virtual race lead when this cycles out. He's going to dive underneath. This is currently the battle. I believe at the line this will be for 6th place. I mean, technically not. Morgan Freeman. Technically, this is the battle for 6th. Oh, look at this! Crow's trying to get around Joe Biden. Side by side, Crow with a fender out front. That means he's closing down the points lead. At the line, nobody coming in. 11 laps to go. I don't think Count Dracula can make it, but you never know. I think 27 and a half miles is a bit much of an ask here. Freeman has strategied his way in the back of the field. And here's Count Dracula giving up the race lead. But wait, there's more! Billy Mays stays out! Rick Scott stays out. Jerry Springer brings it on the pit lane. What does Grover Cleveland do? He'll bring it in. 10 laps to go. Billy Mays, your leader. Rick Scott is in second. 2 seconds down the road. Count Dracula crosses the line. He's 14 and a half back. So will Jerry Springer. He's 22 back. There's 5th place is Grover Cleveland. There is 6th place Hut Strickland. These guys are taking some all tires. Right sides only on the 11 and 17. Oh, look at this. Crow now has Al Roker, Alfred Hitchcock, and Marco Polo as buffers between him and Biden. Crow definitely wants to win this race, but says the more important thing is beating Joe Biden, as he's going to get around the 11, I mean. The 11 is going to come out at the moment in front of the 12. And here comes the 18 of Snoop Dogg. Billy Mays and Rick Scott pit. That's it. Mays comes out of pit road as the leader. And now Hut Strickland takes it over. 9 laps to go for Hut Strickland. Crow. 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Crow back to 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 for Joe Biden. When they flash, oh, that's an interesting. Bela Fleck a long. Now, here they go. The 99 of Geddy Lee is up here. 4 Fords. Here, 5 Fords in the top 6. 4 of them. Rush Fender Racing Alliance drivers. The 5th of those Fords, 5 Fords, is your race leader, Hut Strickland. Oh, now it's going to be 5 for 5 in the top 5 for Ford, as Marco Polo sails on by. 3 Rush Fender Racing drivers up here. Another one is out of the race, and the final one is in 33rd. Look at this. Crow looking for 7th. 6th, I mean. 7 laps to go for Hut Strickland. Geddy Lee, Mark Martin, all over the back bumper. In no incarnation of Rush Fender Racing have they ever won at the Brickyard. Never with Mark Martin on the team. Never with Matt Kenseth, or Carl Edwards, or Greg Biffle, or Kurt Busch. Jeff Burton never did it with them. Harrison Ford hasn't done it. But Geddy Lee sure trying to do it. He's looking underneath. With 6 laps to go. It's a Ford Fiesta, I suppose you can say up here. An entire lockout of the top 5 for the blue oval. Mark Martin, he's making a move to 2nd. In the turn 3. Mark Martin clears in the North Short Shoe. Now Al Roker by. Marco Polo by. Geddy Lee just lost 2, maybe 3 spots in half a lap, but he's trying to come back on the outside. Hut Strickland stretches advantage to probably about a half a second. 6/10 with 5 to go. Crow now all over the 16. He's Snoop Dogg also here. They're saying, wait a minute, don't forget about General Motors. Crow into the top 5, sails past the 6. Now he's going to make a move underneath the 16 of Marco Polo. But it won't work out. Now I'll leave him in the clutches of Al Roker. Off of 4, though. Hut Strickland coming to 4 laps to go. That's 10 miles, or 1 qualification run in the Indianapolis 500. Battle for 2nd. Geddy Lee going back to the runner-up spot as he'll knock Mark Martin down to the last rung on the podium. But not. Oh! Marco Polo into Mark Martin. They wash up the track in the 2. Mark Martin dings the outside line a little bit. Crow T Robot flies through into the 4th spot. Looks like he'll take 3rd. But it's not over yet. Hut Strickland having to hold off a charge from Geddy Lee. Crow and Marco Polo are going to have to work together to try and get by. Joe Biden running intense right now, Trying to hold off a Woody Woodpecker. Yet another Ford. Ford's now 3 in the top 6. No, 5 in the top 6. 7 in the top 11. funny junk. Now, with 3 laps to go, coming off of 2, Geddy Lee all over the back bumper. Crow about a second behind. He's got company as the 16's all over him. The 6 is also getting up here. I'd say we probably got 5 cars in a position for the win. I think Mark Martin is too far back. Look at Crow with a run on the 99, closing in the gap. He's cast a fishing line out on the back of the 99 and is trying to reel it in. But he's got the 16 all over him. The 99 of Geddy Lee. Will he make a lunge in the 2? We got 2 laps to go. He's looking, doesn't quite do it. Crow now 6/10 behind Hut Strickland. Hut looking for win number 2 on the season and on his career. Geddy Lee fading a bit. He might be spent. Or is he shaping up for one more run? It could be. Oh, Crow. Oh! Geddy Lee's on the apron! Geddy Lee is coming to pit road as we come to the white flag. Oh! Hut Strickland in the lead by a second. And probably has this on lockdown all of a sudden. But can Crow reel him in? I don't think he can, unless something happens to Hut Strickland. Was it Geddy Lee that ran out and gave Crow the win at Pocono? It might have been. But Hut Strickland, he's a little sluggish. The 3 also came in. 2, 3, through 4. He's down low. Off of 4, he comes up high. No falters from the 90. Hut Strickland is going to win the Stewart's Fountain Classics Brickyard 400. Crow comes up about a second short of a $250,000 bonus, but is going to take some charge and close in on the points league. Drag race for 6th. Mark Martin edges out Count Dracula by 0.5 %. Not the closest race on paper, not the closest finish on paper, but an exciting battle nonetheless. Indianapolis. Not always the greatest of races, but in recent years we've seen it turn out pretty darn good. Fuel mileage did come into a factor again, but only a couple drivers had the pit at the in the final handful of laps. Geddy Lee looked like he was really closing in the north short chute and then hit really low, went really low, and Hut Strickland will be your winner. Rush Fender Racing still winless in this event. There you see Maldonado dead last. He was involved in an accident. Go figures. He must have gone for a gap that no longer exists. Rick Scott with the Heartache Award. Now. First off, yes, this thing is on. Thank goodness. Your points after 21. Protea Robot now jumps to within 100 points, 98. Hot Strickland, let's close the gap. Brennan Gaughan technically within 2 races of the points lead. Oh, the technicality. But had a very rough day that he didn't need. Hut Strickland up to 3rd. Is this a championship year for the 90? Nobody up to 100 laps led. Several people are at 94. David Dayton at 97. Cena's at 90. Ian Anderson at 98. Tom Hanks 92. 94 for Snoop Dogg, Hut Strickland, and Joe Biden. Ian Anderson with a race missed earlier in the year due to not being locked in for the first 5 races. Is 5th in points. Stephen Georg 10th in points. Crow one spot shy of claiming the SummerSlam bonus, as that is now over. Next week, I believe we head to Chi-Town for the Morton Salt 400. Donald Fagen missed a race, and yeah. I got a feeling nobody in the top 35 is going to fall out unless there's like an injury or something. Hank Hill, who won earlier in the year, missed the race. A lot of people at 13 starts now. Cleveland and Alexander at 11. Cleveland made another race in a row. Oh my God. Grover Cleveland made the last 6 races in a row. Only made 5 the first 15 races. So Cleveland has sorted out his qualifying woes, it has seemed. Although lost a spot in points, so he's back down to 43rd. Just now he doesn't have the pace during the race anymore is the problem. So that was the Stewart's Fountain Classics Brickyard 400. Next week, I believe, is Chicagoland. I'm announcer Western Caves. Oh man, I could use a drink after that one. Like water. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank it at all. I'm announcer Western Caves. You take it easy out there.